Welcome to MissTtv. It's T and I'm back with a spring faves video. Now I know it's been a while since I've done any video and I do apologize, but I am back. I am here in sunny SoCal. I'm so excited to be back. I'm so excited to be home. This is home for me. This is where I grew up. I'm from New Orleans, but SoCal is where I spent the majority of my life. So this is really home to me. And this is where mom's is. Home is where the heart is, and mom's is my heart, of course. So this spring faves video, I'm going to bring to you the things that I've been doing to acclimate myself to my environment, my new environment, to the new seasonal change. These have been some amazing things that I've been doing and things that I've been giving to my friends to help them get acclimated to the spring weather because they have a lot of allergies. I'm not really allergy prone, and I think a lot of it is because of my preventative methods that I do throughout the year, and it helps my body, my immune system, just to be really strong. Let's start with environment. In mind, body, and environment, we have to remember to reacclimate our whole when things like the seasons change and we have big major events happen in our lives. I know I've had to reacclimate myself from Michigan to California, so there were things I needed to do to make sure that that transition went over smoothly with my mind, body, and my environmental change. And so the first thing I did was decluttered myself, especially with the move. I just took things that I hadn't used in a long time and I had no vision of using in the near future, and I either sold it. You guys know I love my consignment shopping, and so I went to Plato's Closet and I sold a bunch of clothes. I made about 60 bucks there. Electronic recycling, you guys know I'm all about recycling, and I had an old MacBook that I hadn't used in years. PowerBookMedic.com is the company I use. I made about 73 bucks off my old non-working MacBook. It was a really easy process. I sent them, they asked for a description online, I gave them the description, they quoted me a price, I sent it off via FedEx for free, and they gave me exactly what they quoted me for, which was great. I didn't have any kind of issues with them trying to lowball me, I guess, on the offer they had made. That was one of the concerns I'd had, and they didn't. It was a really easy, really quick process. A friend of mine told me about PowerBookMedic.com, and if you have a MacBook, if you have any old electronics, get online, find those electronic recycling places where you can make a little bit of a dough. I know here in SoCal they have a few kiosks in the mall where you can go and bring your old non-working electronics, and that kiosk gives you money, scans it, and it gives you money right there. So everywhere, even in Michigan from California, there are donation bins, so even the stuff that you can't sell, you can donate it. So every little bit counts when you're decluttering and when you're spring cleaning. Of course, have a yard sale. Check with your local city officials or in your local city website and make sure that you don't need a license for that, or what are the requirements for your local yard sales. But have yard sales, just declutter. It's important to declutter our environment, so that way we can help declutter our minds, and it gets us on that same track when it comes to energizing our bodies and just acclimating to the spring weather. Also on my list, my faves list for detoxifying your environment, are essentials oils. Right before I moved from Michigan, I dove into the world of essential oils, and I actually have had some essential oils, the ones I bought at the local health store. However, I started reading more into alternative medicines and looking at essential oils for alternative medicine for my family and my health. I am just in love with essential oils, and so the two that I've been using, my faves for detoxifying my air and my environment, getting the toxins, the allergens, and just making it smell good without all these synthetic fragrances, because the Febrezes, the non-soy candles, and those things, those are the fragrance candles. They're releasing toxins into your home. So if you find that your children or you have upper respiratory problems, it probably has to do with the synthetic air in the home. And so the things that I've been using to detoxify my air, the two are a Thieves Oil blend. If you guys can see that, a Thieves Oil and a Purification blend. These oils are antiseptics, antibacterials, and anti-infectious, so they clean your air. The Thieves Oil you can use for so many different things, cleaning the home. I love this oil, y'all. It has clove in it, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary. This Thieves Oil is the bomb. Purification has more of a flowery scent, so of course this one I like a little bit more. And this one, Purification, the name says it all. This one actually is for purifying the air and purifying things. Purification oil, though, it has citronella, lemongrass, rosemary, lavender, and melaleuca. All antiseptics, all antibacterials. I have a Facebook group that I'm going to link down below if you guys want to learn more about essential oils, and I'm really gearing it towards the education. I want my people to get into thinking alternative medicine. Complementary if you have really terminal illnesses or things that you need to see a doctor for, but definitely alternative and more traditional medicine when it comes to the cost of healthcare and the type of healthcare we're getting. And that, being a mother, kind of drove me into taking my health and my family's health into my own hands. So essential oils have gone great with everything that I've been doing lately, especially embarking upon becoming a health scientist and getting into this health and wellness program, get my bachelor's for that. So essential oils have played, and this company is one of the oldest companies out, and they have farms all over the world where the indigenous plants grow, and they have a seed to sale process. So it's just an amazing company. Also great to detox the body for spring and ready the immune system for the allergy season. Speaking of allergies, if you are prone to allergy attacks, if the pollen messes with you, you need to get you some green weed. You need to get you some green weed. Yes, I say green weed. The weed I'm speaking of is nettle leaf tea. It is a green weed, and it's high in vitamins A, C, and E, flavonoids, and histamines. Allergies are a sign of an overactive immune system. So when you have an allergy attack, you need to kind of convince the immune system that it can coexist with the allergens in the air. And the way that you do that is through preventative methods. Nettle leaf tea is a great preventative method to help your immune system get acclimated to the allergens in the air. It's a green weed. It grows around all the pollen. It grows around the stuff that you're breathing in. So that's what you need in your system. Really, really great nettle leaf tea in Riverside, California at the farmer's market there. Carol's Garden. She actually has a website, carolsgardens.com. She has some amazing blends. I actually got her licorice mint tea as well. Now licorice root is really, really great for acute attacks. It acts as a cortisone, so it actually kicks in about 10 to 15 minutes. If you can find licorice root pills, those are going to be great as well. So those are my favorites: licorice root mint tea for spring and nettle leaf tea. And also, you guys know how I am about my raw local honey, and in Riverside, California, I found Bear Bees raw honey. There's organic honey, and I went and copped their infused honeys. So my faves are the cinnamon infused and this lemon infused. They were so amazing, y'all, and they went right along with the teas that I'd gotten from the farmer's market there, because they're great for allergies. Cinnamon and lemon are great antibacterial, so of course lemon and honey was amazing. Also for acute allergy symptoms, I bet you guys didn't know this one: pineapple. Pineapple is rich in bromelain, which is going to help you with your acute allergy symptoms. So if you're sneezing, you're coughing up a lung, pick you up some pineapples. This is just what I had in my fridge. Of course, always consult with your doctor or physician. These are alternative medicines, as well as they can be complementary to what you're using now. Spring bitters. I found this bag of spring bitters at Trader Joe for $2.50. Spring bitters, y'all. We don't get enough greens. We don't get enough bitters in our diet. Spring bitters are great for detoxing your body and boosting the immune system. I like to use bitters in my scrambled eggs in the morning. I scramble them up with, well, I actually saute my bitters with a little bit of olive oil and garlic to kind of take a little bit of the bitter flavor out. And then I put a scrambled egg in there, scramble it up, throw some of my salt and pepper and whatever else I'm feeling for the day, and I have my bitters that way. You can throw bitters in your green smoothies. I wouldn't do that. Kale is already bitter enough. Also, you can make a salad out of bitters. That's what I'm going to do with this stuff. So this was $2.50 at Trader Joe's. I got some bitters for $1.50, a big bag, at my local farmer's market in Riverside. That was weeks ago. I was supposed to film this video weeks ago, so I went over to Trader Joe's and they had this bag for $2.50. Not too bad, I suppose, but the farmer's market prices beat those. My favorite read for the spring is The 4 Agreements, written by Don Miguel Ruiz. The book is a Toltec wisdom book, and a Toltec is just an ancient culture that taught personal freedom. This book was so great for me for what I was going through. It helped me to set my mind into a more powerful way of thinking about myself, since so much was going on to me and around me, and I didn't know where I was going to pick up confidence from. I didn't know how I was going to move forward. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life as I was going through my whole lifestyle change, and I went through this horrible breakup, and I just didn't know how I was going to move forward. I didn't know what I was going to do next. I didn't know as a mother what I was going to, just what was going to happen. And this book was such an integral part of my life, because it actually helped me to think better about my situation. It helped me to think better about myself. The 4 Agreements teaches you to replace everything that you agree with about yourself that is a sin against yourself. It talks about being impeccable with your word, which is your very first agreement. agreement. And being impeccable with your word is just to not use the word against yourself, not sin against yourself, which is using your word, which is very powerful, to speak illy of yourself. And that started with replacing all agreements that I wasn't worthy, I wasn't beautiful enough, I wasn't strong enough, I didn't deserve to have a good life, I didn't deserve these things. I had to replace that with being impeccable with my word. And that meant getting up every morning and saying I was strong enough. That meant getting up every morning and saying I can endure this, I can move on, I don't deserve what happened to me, and all of those different things. So being impeccable with your word is very important. It helps you to replace everything that you believe about yourself that isn't true. The second agreement is don't take anything personal. That was a very, very important lesson for me to learn going through this whole process, because I had to remember that the things that happened to me weren't a direct result of who I was as a person. It was all because of who the other person was as a person, because I tried everything I could in my situation and it still didn't work out. And sometimes you will try your hardest in life. You will try to do everything that you think is right, and it's still not enough to make a situation that you're not supposed to be in happen. And so that was a very, very important agreement for me to really agree with. It was a very hard agreement for me to agree with as well, because I always wanted to look at what my flaws was, because I'm always trying to change myself. And a lot of times you don't need to change yourself. That's something my mom's been trying to tell me. Don't change who I am as a woman. Be who you are, and everything is going to end up being okay anyway. So that was a great agreement. Don't take anything personal. Agreement number 3 was don't make any assumptions. Great agreement, because our minds, it goes, I know at least my mind is constantly going, so I always want to find the solution for things, and I always want to reason why things are the way they are. And a lot of times things are just the way they are. Like, we can't make assumptions, and then we start to make up stories, and we start to make up things in our own minds. So don't make any assumptions. Always ask questions. I've always been a person who asks questions, but this is a very important agreement, to agree with yourself when it comes to trying to figure out why things are the way they are. You can't make any assumptions. If you don't get any answers, they just are. Figure out another way to go about things. So, and the fourth agreement, which was a great agreement, it ties into all of them. It actually just makes sense. Always do your best is the fourth agreement. If you're always doing your best, there's no time to go back and with the what ifs. And that to me was a great agreement to read, because I did my best in my past relationship. I tried, at least, and I know that I tried 100% with doing my best, and it still didn't work out, but that made it okay for me to move on. And so it's always, if you do your best in your jobs, in your life, and things happen and you end up having to move on, if you know you did your best, you can move on with your head held high, and you can move on with a strong heart. And this book allowed me to move on with a strong heart. You pick up the 4 agreements. I'll put a link down to Amazon. I think I paid about, I don't know what I paid for this book, because it says $12.95, but I'm sure I got a little bit cheaper because I always got some rewards or some coupons somewhere. That's it, guys, for my faves. I hope you enjoyed. I'm coming back with a lot. I've still got some craft beer stuff going on. I got so much stuff. So please stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you read the book. Let me know if you have any of these products. If you're using them, check out my Essential Lounge on Facebook.com. Holla at me on Twitter. As always, I'm T.